Okay, let's jump right in. Picture this. It's 1883, Turkish-occupied Crete. A baby boy is born,
Mhm.
and the midwife, she takes one look, like she sees something, and declares, this child, he'll be a bishop one day.
Wow. Right from the start. And that child was Nikos Kazantzakis.
Exactly.
It's amazing, isn't it, how that one moment, that kind of pronouncement, almost maps out a life that was going to be anything but, well, straightforward.
Definitely not ordinary.
A life of searching, constantly moving. A real pilgrimage, not just geographically, but deep inside, into the human spirit.
Yeah, he sounds like someone who is never really content. Restless is the word. A writer, sure, but also just this seeker pushing boundaries all the time.
And that's what we're diving into today, using excerpts from The Restless Pilgrimage of Nikos Kazantzakis.
Right. Our goal here is to really get into what these sources show us about living a full life, about having the guts to challenge things.
Things like faith, society, even your own fear, and how real change, real transformation often happens right in the thick of a struggle. Kazantzakis' own journey is like our case study here.
So we'll be looking at his intense wrestling with spiritual questions, his political beliefs, which were pretty strong,
Definitely provocative.
his fascination, almost obsession with language, and the huge controversies that his work stirred up. And really his whole life story as laid out in this material, it kind of throws a question back at you listening right now. What does it really mean to live fully? How do you push against those lines?
That idea of a pilgrimage really resonates through the material. And it wasn't just about, getting on a boat and going somewhere.
Yeah.
It was this constant internal exploration, digging into art, religion, politics, philosophy, trying to grasp the big stuff.
He didn't just skim the surface, did he? He dove right in. He
Yeah.
wanted to really grapple with existence itself.
And you really get a sense of the tension he lived with, this constant push and pull
Between what?
between deep thinking and the need for action. He wasn't okay just having ideas. He felt he had to act on them. But the action had to be meaningful, rooted in thought. It's like he was pulled in these different powerful directions all the time.
That kind of striving. Yeah, that tension between your ideals and, well, how you actually live day to day. I think a lot of us feel that, right?
Absolutely.
But Kazantzakis, he didn't run from it. It seems like he leaned into it, made it central to his life and work.
So looking at his inner world, the sources say he was fascinated by saints, mystics, the whole idea of the divine right from when he was young.
Yeah, really searching for spiritual meaning. He even spent time at Mount Athos, didn't he? That famous monastic center.
He did. But then, as he traveled more, read more, encountered these huge ideas from people like Nietzsche and Eastern thought, like Buddhism,
Things shifted.
big time. That earlier faith, it wasn't just questioned. The source describes it turning into a kind of battlefield inside him.
A battlefield. Wow.
Yeah. So his faith journey becomes this intense process of questioning everything, embracing doubt, and trying to completely reimagine what belief could even be.
And you see that play out in his novels.
Oh, absolutely. Books like The Last Temptation of Christ or Christ Re-Crucified, the material presents them as these raw, honest, spiritual wrestling matches right there on the page.
He wasn't afraid to ask the really tough questions, the ones that make people uncomfortable.
Exactly. Like, what if God isn't some fixed thing, but is actually evolving? What if doubt isn't the enemy of faith, but maybe a path towards a deeper kind of faith?
Those are some heavy challenges to orthodoxy.
And putting those challenges out there so publicly, well, it inevitably led to conflict, serious conflict with the religious establishment, particularly the Greek Orthodox Church.
It condemned his work?
Condemned him, tried to excommunicate him. It was a major clash.
So how did he react? You'd expect maybe anger, a big fight back?
But no, his response, reading about it, it's kind of breathtaking in its own way.
Yeah.
Shows incredible courage.
What did he do?
He didn't lash out. He responded with a blessing. He actually said to the church authorities, "May your conscience be as clear as mine, and may you be as moral and religious as I."
Wow, just wow. I know, think about that. Facing that kind of condemnation, and instead of fighting fire with fire, he offers this quiet, firm assertion of his own integrity, almost wishing them well. That's real courage, isn't it?
It really is. A conviction that goes beyond just wanting to win an argument or fearing judgment.
Right.
Okay, so that's the spiritual side. But his life wasn't just internal, it was political too, right?
Yeah.
Fiercely so.
Oh, yeah. He strongly believed that some form of socialism, but importantly, one guided by democratic principles, was the only way to fix the huge injustices he saw everywhere.
But it wasn't simple for him politically either, was it? He didn't fit neatly into any box.
Not at all. He got attacked from both sides. The right called him a dangerous Bolshevik troublemaker. But the left, they didn't fully trust him either. They saw him as too much of a bourgeois thinker. He was kind of caught in the middle, belonging to no single faction completely. But he still got involved, didn't just write about it.
No, he took action. He led a leftist political party for a time. He even worked in government briefly, heading up the UNESCO Bureau of Translations.
Okay.
But in the end, he stepped away from those official roles. He resigned and went back purely to his writing, maybe realizing that for him, his words were his most powerful form of action.
And that really ties into what the source suggests, doesn't it? That making real change needs both the vision and the action. And that if you truly stand for justice, sometimes you end up standing alone. His life seems to really show that.
And then there's language. His relationship with words was something else entirely.
Obsessed, the material calls it.
Yeah, like he collected words the way other people collect art or stamps, traveling all over Greece just to find the right turn of phrase, the perfect dialect word. He even invented words when he couldn't find one that fit.
And his writing style reflects that.
Totally. It's described as really earthy, passionate, full of life, poetic, but also raw. Able to wound you with its honesty, but also heal you somehow.
Zorba the Greek comes to mind there.
Exactly. The source points to Zorba and characters like him who just live this incredible, untamed love for life, even when things are falling apart.
Yeah.
They kind of teach you not by lecturing, but just by being, that choosing joy, choosing to embrace life, is still possible even in the darkest times.
It makes you think about the power of words, doesn't it? Can they really shape reality? He certainly seemed to believe so.
And wielding words like that, challenging religious and political norms. Really, no wonder he was such a controversial figure, a lightning rod.
The lust temptation. That wasn't just a minor disagreement. Both the Greek Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches condemned it.
And then years later, the movie version caused another massive uproar worldwide.
Right.
But even with all those storms swirling around him, the source makes a point. His work lasted. It didn't just vanish. People kept reading it, debating it.
Which says a lot. And the recognition. Getting nominated for the Nobel Prize for Literature 9 times. That's incredible.
9 times. And he came so close. Lost out to Albert Camus by just 1 vote, apparently.
And Camus himself had something to say about that.
He did. Reportedly, Camus said Kazantzakis deserved it 100 times more. Coming from Camus, that's quite something.
So when we look back, pulling it all together from this material, what's his legacy? It feels like it's more than just the books themselves.
Oh, definitely. It's the example of a life lived in this relentless chase for truth, however difficult or uncomfortable that truth might be.
Yeah, asking the hard questions.
Asking the hard questions. And crucially, being okay with not always finding easy answers. Living with that uncertainty, that messiness.
And it's this powerful, almost defiant yes to life, all of it. The good, the bad, the struggle, the pain.
Right. You get the sense his journey wasn't about reaching some final fixed certainty. It was about engaging more and more deeply with the sheer mystery of being alive.
And that idea keeps coming back, that every struggle, internal or external, isn't something to avoid. It's actually where the potential for growth, for transformation lies.
You have to engage with it, wrestle with it.
Which leads perfectly into that quote, that really powerful quote from the source.
I hope for nothing. I fear nothing. I am free.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound like giving up, does it? It sounds fierce.
It sounds like a battle cry, almost. A declaration of independence for anyone trying to live authentically, truly on their own terms.
And so his life, as we've explored it through these sources, it really does feel like a direct challenge, a call to action for you listening now.
What are you to do with your life? This one wild and precious life, as the poet Mary Oliver put it.
Are you going to play it safe, stick to the comfortable? Or are you going to, like Kazantzakis, kind of hurl yourself into the unknown, seek your truth?
Are you going to let fear shut you down? Or will you find the courage to speak up, even if your voice shakes, even if people push back?
When you hit challenges, do you see roadblocks or do you see chances to build something new, like stepping stones?
What about your doubts? Are they failures? Or could they be, maybe, pathways to a stronger, more honest kind of faith or understanding?
And your words, are they just air? Or can you use them, like you tried to, as wings, as tools to shape your world?
He gave us that amazing line, too. Since we cannot change reality, let us change the eyes which see reality.
It's all about perspective, isn't it? Shifting how you look at things.
Ultimately, his whole story is like an invitation for you to become a pilgrim of your own soul, to dare to live and question and create with that same kind of fire.
Because the big takeaway here, I think, from this deep dive, like, the greatest journey isn't about escaping life. It's about going deeper and deeper into the very heart of it. So the question remains, what will your pilgrimage look like?